This story is everything. This is the whole ball game. This is secretly one of the biggest stories, not just of the day, but of the year. And I know it's early in the year, but that's how important this is. So take a look. President Trump has talked to people in recent days about forming a new political party. He wants to call it the Patriot Party. This would destroy the Republican Party. It would absolutely destroy the Republican Party. And there are a lot of consequences to that. But what would happen is, first of all, starting a third party, it's one of the most, if not the single most difficult thing to do in U.S. politics. Because it is structurally rigged against third parties. The Democrats and the Republicans have an ironclad lockdown on this system. It's literally a two-party system. Like, it's the way the system works. So starting a third party is nearly impossible, and if Trump tries this, he's going to figure it out, even though he's a former president. He could have a lot of people working on it around the clock. What you're going to realize is you can't even get fucking ballot access in a lot of these states, right? Like, the Green Party and the Libertarians are the closest, and they're not even in every state. They're in like 46 or 48, something like that. So point is, they've made it structurally impossible to have a third party succeed, okay? Now, you can push and you can try, but you're going to come up short. But here's the point. The point is, however far he gets, he at the very least is going to take like 15% of the Republican voters, drag them to where he's at, drag them to this like Patriot Party where they vote for him or vote for Patriot Party candidates. Maybe they find a path where like they run as independents and they identify as Patriot Party. I don't know. But if he gets like 15% of people who are Republicans now to vote for him and his Patriot Party candidates, that's enough taking the votes from the GOP, where the Democrats are going to waltz into office every election. So, this honestly would destroy the Republican Party. That's what would happen. The Republican Party would be fractured, factionalized. It would be in tatters. It'd be in shambles. Listen, go ahead, Trump. And the funny thing is, I think he thinks like, no, if I start a new party, I can like win as a third party candidate. No, you can't. He flirted with a run. I don't know if you guys remember this. I barely remember it. And I'm 32. I don't know how old a lot of you guys are, but there was the Reform Party, which was the last like big third party attempt. And of course it blew up. But, Trump was flirting with running as a Reform Party candidate back in the day. It's like him and like Jesse Ventura. They were interested in this new party idea. So if he were to do this, listen, I'll actively cheer it on. By all means, go right ahead. So, but there is another downside to it. The upside is Democratic wins all day, every day. But the downside is they almost make it too easy for the Democrats, where the Democrats can just continue sucking forever and still get elected in gigantic numbers. Because at least there would be everybody sort of unified under the Democratic umbrella, where there's a third party getting 15% of the vote from Republicans. So the Democrats are in a position where they could just sort of always do the bare minimum from now until forever and still win nonstop and get gigantic supermajorities. So honestly, this is one of those stories where this might lead Mitch McConnell and the other Republicans to throw Trump under the bus. Because if they think he's serious about this, the first thing they'd want to do is ban him from ever holding office ever again, because at least that would keep nominally the Republican Party as the place for the right-wingers. And so in other words, he might view it as, McConnell and other Republicans might view it as, we need to ban Trump from ever running again to prevent the total and utter destruction of the Republican Party. So in that case, I would flip and I'd say, no, don't ban Trump from ever winning again, because I want him to take 15% from the GOP and I want him to, destroy the GOP. And then obviously the conversation would be, all you have is wall-to-wall Democratic control. It's like one-party control. Then you'd really have to fight for the left-wing vision and almost forget completely about Republicans and Patriot Party members. You would have to go all in on just that Democratic Civil War where you lean into the fight. But of course, the sad thing is I don't see anybody who's really willing to lean into that fight on the left, and that's scary because the hostile takeover needs to be actually hostile, and I haven't seen that. But anyway, if Trump does this, it's a wrap for the Republican Party. So I do think this might actually lead them to take action against Trump. I do think so. I do think this might lead them to say, we got to ban him from running ever again, or else he'll destroy the Republican Party. So that GOP civil war is going to be delicious, man. I can't wait to watch it.